All right, so let's get started here. So what we're going to do here first off, to get started here on these first several videos we do, I'm going to have you get started by turning off and turning on specific ones of these buttons down here below, just so we're all working from the same place. So to start with, we're going to leave our grid on. That's that first button. The next one, snap, we're going to leave our snap off. Honestly, anymore with the newer versions of AutoCAD, I have moved away from using snap. We really don't use snap anymore. It's not that useful for us for the way we do things. Ortho we're going to leave off. I'm actually going to turn off this next one, polar, so turn that so it's grayed out. Whoop, come on, there we go. Going on across, these two, we're going to turn those back off. And all we're going to leave on is this one over here. So all I have on is this one is a grid, and this one is called annotation. So those two left on. So now to start for drawing, we're just going to use a circle command. So I'm going to go C for circle. So C, enter, is the shortcut for circle. And again, as I always say, space bar is what I always hit. So C, enter, or C, space bar. When you do this, your cursor's out there on the screen. It tells you where you're going to be starting that circle at. Right now I'm at 14.1 and 17.14. I don't care where you do it out here, but over here on the left side of your screen somewhere, click once, normal, left click. And notice you pull the circle out. It's much like your rubber band line, where you can stretch it big or great big, or leave it a little small, and you can do a circle there. So I'm going to click and draw that circle. To draw another circle, I'm going to go C, enter again, or C spacebar again, and I can draw another circle. So just come over here beside it somewhere and put another circle in. So there's how we can draw some circles. What I want you to do is try to get a little bit efficient drawing some circles. So remember, to repeat your command, you're going to hit the space bar. So now that I've just done those things, I'm going to hit the space bar, and then I can go click and click again and draw another circle. So then I hit the space bar again, space, click, click, draw another circle. Space bar again, click once, drag it out, click again, and I can draw another circle. Just go a little bit crazy there for a little bit and draw, oh, I don't know, minimum of 10, no more than 20 circles there. Just by going click and click, 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 and click, click. And when I go click, sorry, space bar and then click, click, space bar, click, click, space bar, click, click, and draw some circles out of there. Just kind of play with drawing some different size circles there. Okay. Hopefully you got some circles drawn there with that. So that's you playing with the circle command a little bit. So now let's look at the arc command. For arc, we're going to go A, enter for arc. Again, you can come up here and do them up here, but I really don't want you to get used to doing that. Once we're back to in person, when I see you going up here to do all your commands, I'm going to say those are bad habits. Get out of those bad habits. Get used to good habits of CAD, which is one hand on your keyboard, one hand on your mouse, and we'll get this going. If you don't yet have a mouse, we'll get you a mouse. I'm working on getting those ordered so you can have a mouse to use soon. All right, so I'm going to go arc. A, enter for arc. The default for the arc is just a 3-point arc. So I'm going to click once. That's my first part where my arc's going to start. Click again. That's the mid part of my arc. And then click again is my last part of my arc. So again, space bar will repeat that. And then go click, click, and click. Space bar again. Click for the first point, click for the midpoint, click for the end point, and I can put some arcs in there. Go ahead and then just here beside your circles, let's do some arcs. So let's click, 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 and do some arcs, and do some individual arcs. So again, I'm hitting space bar once, repeats my arc command, and then I'm just clicking 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Again, put a few arcs there. Again, put at least 6, 7 arcs there. And stop at that. So there's another option of the arc command. And what did I get? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8. So 6 or 8 arcs there, 6 to 10 arcs, that's fine. Now over beside this, I'm going to do some more arcs. So hopefully you're kind of spacing this out. If you don't have enough space, remember you can always pan. To pan, if you have that middle scrolling mouse button, you can click and hold and slide your screen side to side. If you don't have that middle mouse button, you can always hit P, enter, and then you should just be able to click and slide it that way. So either way, you should be able to make that slide and move your screen if you don't have some space over here. So now for your next thing I want you to do is we're going to go ahead and repeat the arc command again. So I'm going to go A, enter for arc, because I just did pan. I've hit space bar, it'd repeat my pan command. So I'm going to go A enter for arc, and I'm just going to start up here at the top and start an arc. So, about here, click from my first point, over here to the right, I'm going to click my second point, and then down here for my last point. Now, different this time, instead of just hitting spacebar once and repeating the arc command, I'm going to hit it twice. So notice what happens when I do that. Space, and then space again, and it connects my arc onto the last arc. And it makes that arc come off there tangentially to the other arc, where it has a nice smooth transition. So what I want you to do is, your size of it's going to matter for where you're pulling this to, but make it look something similar to mine. So you don't want to go way over here, it flips it kind of crazy and weird. But come down here a ways, we're going to try to make just a little zigzaggy line that goes back and forth. So one to maybe about there, hit space, space again, or enter, enter. 1, 2, and then do another one, 1, 2, and do another one. Try to do this where it's at least 4 arcs down your screen, coming down your screen there, so you're showing at least 4 arcs there that are all connected to each other. If you had a mistake and that didn't work, you can go ahead and erase those out and try again. So select them, and I just did that by clicking on the screen and putting a box around all of those, and then hitting E enter for erase. And you can erase them that way. And if you need to, try again. Start it here at the top, go to the right, do 1, 2, 3, and again at least 4 of those like that. All right, looking good there, and we're going to go on and do our next thing. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to pan your screen over to the side. So again, if you have a mouse as a middle mouse button, you can click and hold on that middle mouse button and slide this thing to the side. Okay, whoops, I zoomed out a little bit there. I did not mean to do that. All right, so again, sorry, my phone was ringing. I had to pause there. So what I think I was saying again, click your middle mouse button, click and hold, and you can slide your screen to the side. I was over on the other screen, so I can't do this. So you can slide your screen back and forth by clicking and holding your middle mouse button. If you need to zoom in or out, remember that was scrolling your middle mouse button if you have a mouse. And if you don't, remember zooming on your screen. You can do a touch screen like you do on your phone and zoom in and out with your fingers on your touch screen. If you want to do it by the keyboard, I don't think you can pan. At least nobody's told me you can pan yet on your touch screen. You can enter P, enter for pan, and you should be able to click on your little pad and drag sideways with that. So P, enter, and drag sideways. Basically, we're trying to get over here to a little bit of open space. All right, so what we're going to do here now is we're going to go back and hit escape after you're done panning there. We're going to go back to our circle command and do some more specifics with the circle command. So I'm going to go C for circle. And I'm going to add in a circle here. And notice when I start my circle, down here, I have some options for my circle. Right now, it is on the radius option. So specify the radius of a circle. So notice how it gives me this line going out to the edge of my circle. That is going to be the radius of my circle. I could type in something specific there and make it a specific size. Right now, I'm not going to worry about the specific size because that's just another thing we're going to do later. So I'm going to come out here, I'm going to click. Looks like mine's going to be about a 2.69 there. All right, next, I'm going to go C for circle again, or just spacebar will repeat it. I'm going to pick my center point of my circle. And now notice in brackets there, I have the diameter option hit, or diameter option there. What I can do is I can either click there on it to pick the diameter option, or I can hit D, enter for diameter. Again, I'm big on the shortcut keys, so I go D, enter. Notice how your circle has changed. So now instead of your line going just to the edge of the circle, it's pulling out there, and that line represents the diameter of the circle. So again, here, if I make a circle about the same size as the other one, and that's what I want you to do, just down below it a ways like this, notice it says my circle is 5.39. That is the diameter of the circle. Okay, so there's a couple different types of circles, a radius and a diameter circle. Let's hit our space bar and repeat the circle command. All right, now I have all these different options. I have a 3-point circle, a 2-point circle, 3P and 2P, a TTR circle, and in parentheses it tells you what that stands for. That's a tangent radius circle. That's the one I want to do. Now notice in blue down there it shows me the 3P and the 2P, and then the first capital letter T is in blue. That's telling me that's the shortcut to it. So I'm going to hit T, enter, and that's going to make it tangent radius circle. So I'm going to hit T, enter, And now it brings up something on your screen. When I come up here and I hover over this circle, notice that little green circle with a slash through it. That is a tangent symbol. If I click here in this 1/4 of the circle, in this quadrant of the circle, it's going to make a circle that's going to touch and be tangent to that circle in that position. So I'm going to click right there. Now it's asking me for the second point of the circle, or second point, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click in this quarter of the circle. So anywhere from here all the way down to here. So somewhere in this quarter, I'm going to click right there. And now notice what it asked me for down here. It asked for the radius of the circle. Now I just have to type in a radius. I'm going to do something relatively large here for me. You can adjust your size so it looks similar to mine. I'm going to do a 4-inch radius. I'm going to type 4 and hit enter, and it puts me a circle in there that looks like that. If your circle got in there and it was gigantic, change up to a smaller number. If it says a circle like that does not exist, change it to a bigger number. So adjust your number to where it looks somewhat similar to mine, and that's great. So again, that was a tangent radius circle. Notice here how it perfectly touches in one point. That circle is perfectly tangent there. That circle is perfectly tangent there. If you zoom way in, it may look like they cross a little bit, but that's just your screen resolution. So again, if you did zoom in and you're stuck in there, remember you can go Z enter, A enter, and that will zoom all of your screen. All right, I'm going to pan a little bit to the side here again, and I'm going to try to do some more circles over here. I'm actually going to slide a little bit more over. All right, I'm going to go C again for circle. I'm going to go ahead and do one of these other type of circles. I'm going to do a 3-point circle. So 3 points. You know, honestly, before I do those 3 points of that circle, I probably need to draw something over here to make it to those 3 points. So I'm going to draw me 3 lines. I'm going to draw my first line. Just goes, well, approximately straight down like that. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. So a line something like that. Oh, let's do another line something like this. And a third line, a third line that goes something like this. Now remember the line command, that's L, enter for line, something like that. So right there I have 3 lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a circle, C for circle. And the first point of my circle, I want it to line up to the end of this line. So again, I went C for circle. I'm going to go 3P for 3 point. And it asked me the first point of my circle. I want to attach to the end of this line. To attach to the end of that line, I have to come down here and turn something on, which is this button right here, which is called Object Snap. So come down here, click on that, and now my object snaps on, and I should be able to select the end of that line. It says end point right there. So the end of that one, and come down there, pick the end of that one, and I'm going to come over here and pick the end of that one. Now notice that circle. It perfectly touches on the end of that line, the end of that line, the end of that line, and it figured out what size of circle it needed to be made. All right, let's go on. Let's go to our 2-point circle. For this, let's see. I think I'm just going to make just a line that goes straight, or not, just a line like that. Just a line like that. Straight line, not straight up and down or anything else like that. And let's go C for circle. This time I'm going to go 2P for a 2-point circle. My first point I'm going to pick on this end of the line. Second point I'm going to pick on this end of the line. And now notice what that did. It made me a circle that touches perfectly on the end of that one, perfectly into that one, and made that circle just that exact diameter of the length of that line. There's all of my different types of circles I'm going to show you right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click so I can see my entire screen out there. I may zoom out just a little bit more. So if you don't have your mouse, I'm just going to crank back once on my mouse to right there, I think. Maybe I'll go in just a hair tighter. Something like that. That's good enough. If you need to go zoom on your screen, just pinch on there and you can make it a little bit larger. And we're going to go ahead and create our snippings. So I'm going to go snipping, S-N-I, snipping tool. Going to pull that up. For this, I want you to do 2 different snippings. So I'm going to go new. I'm going to do 1 snipping of this part of it. And I'm going to save that as lesson 2, number 1. Oops, I forgot my 2. Lesson 2, number 1. And then I'm going to create another snipping that is of this half of it. That is called lesson 2, number 2. You'll upload both of those to Student View, and there you go. We'll have a little assignment to do after this. Good luck.